Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piorski, coming to you live from the East Coast, coast with the most, with the co-host with the most, here on the Rundown. To a Views Conservative News. And what's going on, Craig? How's things going with you? How's your weekend?
Uh, Going well, going well. Feeling kind of, snazzy today, ready for a celebration.
Oh yeah, we got some clothes going on here. Got some studs. Good.
You clean up quite well, Mr. Mikey.
Oh, I'm not cleaned up at all. That's the beauty of TV. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
nice,
just,
nice.
yeah.
So to what do we owe this prestigious occasion?
It's laundry day. It's laundry
Oh.
day. No, it's our 400th episode. What? 400.
That's right. Episode 400. We started this program back in March of 2020. Actually, was it March or was it? It was just before COVID became a thing.
It was March. We were actually in COVID, if you recall, because we said it was a month after COVID started, and they decided to continue the event rather than deal with the COVID because it's Florida and heck yeah, America. Yeah.
Anyway, had a good time, had a phenomenal time. Anyway, so it's been 400 episodes. We are on, for those of you who do not know, we're on Monday through Friday. So we're on 5 days a week. So needless to say, it didn't take us a long time for us to get to episode 400. But let me tell you, you have absolutely no idea what goes into trying to come up with content 5 days a week.
I must spend at least 5 or 10 minutes looking for stories every day, Chris.
I know.
It's a slave drop.
Exactly. Well, and then I think the funny part is I think we spend more time talking about it than we actually do, looking for the stories. Of course, being especially here from California, there is no shortage of stupidity that pops up in the Facebook feed.
Now, listen, folks, when Craig says we spend more time talking about the stories, he means like, did you get any stories? No, it's your turn to get them. No, it's your turn to get them. No, it's your turn to get them. We don't actually talk about the story. We talk about it's your turn to get a story. So,
right. That's kind of how it works. Anyway, so you guys get to hear some of the behind the scenes mumbo jumbo. But anyway, this is episode 400, and we just want to thank each and every one of you who has been tuning in. I don't know if any of you have been tuning in from the very beginning, but if you have, give us a shout out in the comments. We want to thank our sponsors because they're the ones who've really been making sure that we've been able to keep this thing going. So, Mike, go ahead and give a shout out to those who are currently on the list of sponsors.
yeah, let's say hi to our good friends over there at Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net. You know the story by now. If you got yourself an AR in the last 5 years, probably got one of their barrels and don't even know it. Well, now you can get a new barrel for your next build or replace the barrel in your current platform now. Hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight out there behind enemy lines. You see what the work they've done. Let's continue to support them so they get them good candidates in office out there in California. Then, of course, if you want some good combat gear, tactical gear, web gear kind of stuff, go to uscombatgear.com. And if you want a holster, I'm talking good holsters, concealable inside the waistband, tactical holsters, best mount, handmade, every one of them. Go to Hog Holsters, HAWGholsters.com, HAWGholsters.com, and use the code The Rundown, all one word, all caps, no spaces, and you get yourself a nice little discount. Get them now, because if you wait till the day before Christmas, you're not going to be able to get them shipped, and you're going to be out of stock. So go there now to Hog Holsters and get you a holster.
Folks, these are the people that bring us to you, and they do so because they want us to bring you to them. So do us a favor, help us keep on the air, right? Help us pay the bills. All you got to do is follow the links in the description to this program. Go to their websites, see what they got there, and if you like what you see, spend some money with them, work with them, become a part of them if you're talking California Republican Assembly, which, by the way, I want to point out of our current sponsors, California Republican Assembly has been a sponsor from day one. So thank you, CRA, for your support, as well as to all of our sponsors. We can't do this without you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, did I say thank you?
You did. Craig, I keep looking. I got to get me better lights. I know we've talked about getting me better lights, but I can actually see what you're wearing as opposed to this invisible black shirt. Listen, I've got to look at the whole. I had the jacket and everything right here, folks. My tux jacket, but you can't see the difference between the jacket and the shirt. And hold on, my lights. I got other lights and everything too. Hold on, I'm gonna show you. I'm actually wearing this stuff. Look. There's a.
Dude, looking snazzy. Looking snazzy.
There's a shirt.
Here, let me get the single shot here. Let me get the single shot for you. There you go.
Yeah, it's all there. It's all there.
There you go.
But you can't tell the difference. Hey, this is my favorite part about wearing fancy clothes. Craig, watch this. You ready? I love that.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I guess
all right.
It's like a crown tie too. Look at this thing.
Okay, just so you folks know, do not get used to this. We're not dressing like this every day. Maybe for our 500th episode, but we got a ways to go before we get there.
I say we make a big deal out of $4.99 and just blow 500 off. Just take the day off.
Just take the day off. No, never have a 500th episode. Eventually, we're gonna have to have a 500th episode, or unless we just stop at $4.99.
On the screen, it'll just say, "The boys will be back tomorrow. Happy 500th."
For 30 minutes. We'll be back.
Yeah, that's it. Stay tuned for more messages after this break.
After these messages from our sponsors.
Yep. Yeah, we could just run sponsor commercials the whole half hour.
There you go. Maybe charge them a little extra.
Oh yeah. I'm sure they'll go for that. They love
I'm sure they will go for that. All right, Mike, let's get into today's news. All right, our first story is music to my ears. It was amazing the way in which Democrats made it a point, because they did not like Marjorie Taylor Greene. They removed her from all committee assignments because in their eyes, they kept saying, well, she's a danger, she's a threat, she's a whatever. She has not earned her the right. Being elected has not earned her the right to be able to sit on a committee. Well, now turnabout is fair play, because as now Republicans are in control of the House, it has been announced that certain members, by the way, who for very, very good reason are now going to be removed from various committees on which they serve. And those folks include Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell, who are both on the House Intelligence Committee, as well as Ilhan Omar, who is on the Foreign Affairs Committee. Now, here's the reason why this makes sense. So first of all, you have Adam Schiff, who has already demonstrated that he is a liar. This is the guy who basically said, now supposedly we have all of this secret information, all of this, classified information. He was saying that he had that showed that Donald Trump was in cahoots with the Russians. And guess what? Nothing ever materialized. He had all this secret information about Ukraine and President Trump. And once again, nothing ever materialized. The fact is he used his position to pretend like he had damaging information on the president, and it never, ever happened. He never actually ever had it. So that's the issue with him. Eric Swalwell, we all know he's, was sleeping with, or at the very least was in a relationship with, a known Chinese asset, or as the proper terminology, or the more common terminology is a spy. And then Ilhan Omar, being on foreign affairs, she has been guilty of making a number of anti-Israel and anti-Semitic comments, and taken positions and supported organizations that, quite frankly, are terrorist organizations. And so she really should not be representing the United States when it comes to foreign affairs. So for those reasons, Kevin McCarthy will be removing them from those committees. Now, I don't know if they will be on no committees like they did to Marjorie Taylor Greene, but I do believe that these in particular are appropriate.
Yeah, Craig, listen, I would have thrown them off for many, many other reasons, but these are just as good. Have you ever noticed that Schiff doesn't turn his head? Seriously,
no, I have not noticed that.
Watch, this is how Schiff turns. He goes like this. His neck doesn't move. He just turns his whole body when he turns his head. It's like he's got some kind of weird fusion thing going on in there. And Swalwell, listen, he shouldn't be on there because Listen, dude, it's getting a prostitute's not a relationship. Okay, so I don't know where you got that from. So just stop that. You're embarrassing yourself. I mean, yes, she was a Chinese prostitute, and a Chinese spy prostitute, but that doesn't make it a relationship. So yeah, know your boundaries. Know your boundaries. And Omar, let's really Israel. Want to go after Israel? We didn't see that coming. That you were going to criticize them. Yeah, but they all deserve to be gone. They shouldn't be there. The issue is now, Craig, right? Does McCarthy get the votes, right?
Well, there is, and I talked a little bit about this last week. There is a challenger to the speakership. It's Mr. Briggs. I forgot what state he is. What state he's from?
Right? Who?
I'm sorry, not Briggs. Biggs. He's actually supposedly a conservative, a member of the Freedom Caucus, but he's actually trying to get Democrats to support him. Now, the problem is the only way in which that works is with the power sharing agreement, where he agrees to give Democrats some control or some say over what goes on in the leadership of the House. I can tell you there's a chance that could happen, only because I saw it happen here in California back in '94. But I think it's doubtful that actually happens.
Yeah, he is. He's from Arizona.
Okay.
Right? He's Arizona, so he's from the 6th district there. He's 64 years old. Not that matters. I'm just pointing it out. Yeah.
Yeah. He's it's going to be interesting. I think if the problem is Democrats are going to have to now be willing to partner with a member of the Freedom Caucus. I'm not seeing it.
No, listen, no, and I don't care if they walked across the aisle and said, "Here's the deal. We're going to give you 90% of what you want. Let's make an agreement." No, because the other 10 they're going to knife you in the back on. That's just the way it works, and then they're going to hold it over your head anytime you want to bring up something you want. You can't do this. Look how ridiculous Parliament is. Look how what's going on in the Parliament in the UK. We see there. Look that they've changed prime ministers again recently. How often does this happen there? Look what's going on in Israel. They've just asked Benjamin Netanyahu to form a new government there because they're so tired of this bouncing around nonsense.
Right.
I'm not saying their styles are not they're not horrible. I'm just saying it doesn't have the stability that ours have based on the beliefs and the principles we use.
Right. So, I don't see that happening, but I do see that. And the challenge is Kevin McCarthy is seen as a part of the establishment. While he did support President Trump, he's seen as a part of the establishment. I can tell you right now, from my experience, him when he was the Republican leader in the legislature here, he is part of the establishment. He is part of the swamp. Having said that, he is better than anything that the Democrats have to offer.
Yes, sir. Absolutely right. Again, you're never going to find a candidate that you agree 100% with. If you do, it's you should wake up because it's not real. But you find that guy 80%, vote in the way I want. That's what I need. That's what I need. The other party is going to be less than 50%.
Right. Well, and here's the thing: in order to be a legislative leader, you have to be someone who can bring together people who have very different interests and get them to go a certain direction, right? You're almost never going to see in very few cases are you going to see someone who is an ideologue become a legislative leader. It takes large majorities. It takes something like what happened with the Contract with America and Newt Gingrich. It takes something like that to have somebody who can become who is going to be able to come in and be a leader and have a mandate. Republicans right now do not have a mandate in the House, so you need someone who can bring together both the conservatives and the establishment folks in order to take control. I hate to say it.
Yeah, hopefully he's the guy. Right?
Yeah,
hopefully he's the guy. We got Rick Scott trying to at least bring the mandate, if not bring the leadership, trying to force a mandate. Let's see if McCarthy can do it in the House.
Yeah, I don't see Rick Scott doing it. He's not the guy.
Well, I said he may not bring the leadership, but at least he's trying to force a mandate.
There you go. Okay, yeah, no, that is an accurate statement. I get that. All right. Speaking of, here's an interesting one. Speaking of mandates, for some reason in San Francisco there appears to be a mandate that has to do with guaranteed income and the transgendered. That's right. In San Francisco, they're launching. Now this is the third program that they've launched that are guaranteed income. They've already done it for South Pacific Islander women, and they've done it for mothers and for African American mothers. But now they're going to now offer guaranteed income to transgendered people. That's right. If you are transgendered and you are a prostitute or an illegal migrant, a low income transgendered illegal immigrant. I'm like, that is just so you know, that is the that is like the ultimate intersection of stuff. But yeah, you will be getting $1,200 a month guaranteed in the city of San Francisco and you'll be getting it for 18 months. Now, I'm just trying to figure out, with everything that is going on out there, who thought this was a good idea?
This sounds like an insult with the way they're describing people. That's like somebody, stocking up and slamming you, right? Who thought it was a good idea? Come on, everybody in San Francisco thought it was a good idea. All the politicians thought it was a good idea. All your city council, right? Because it's not their money, Craig, right? We go around we got the city money tree back here. We pull the money off and we give it to people because it's only fair. It's only fair that we take care of these people and we give the money. It's only fair, with absolutely no foresight at all onto where this money comes from or what it's going to do to the rest of the programs you have.
You would think that they would get it with some of the changes that they've had to make. I mean, you've had one recall election of school board members there. You've had another recall election of their district attorney their district attorney. You would think that they would wake up and say, perhaps feel-good programs like this, we should rethink. And here's the other thing. Right now, the economy in California is headed south. There's a projected budget deficit, which we all knew was going to be coming, of $25 billion, which means money that the city of San Francisco was getting that they were looking at coming from the state. Yeah, it ain't coming. And on top of that, they're seeing their own revenue drop dramatically because there are so many rental spaces, business spaces, office space that is now sitting vacant that was basically shut down during COVID. And now you have a lot of those employers who are saying, well, we're going to either let our folks keep working from home, or we're going to permanently move our headquarters or our office space to either another city in California or to another state. And so they're seeing their revenues bottom out. And here you now have a thing where you're talking about just giving people money, giving the money. And you have to know that you don't have the resources to even take care of your own bills.
Well, yeah, but Craig, remember, like you said, they're being recalled at a pretty decent rate there. So it's kind of like playing blackjack on the Titanic, right? You got $20 bets going, then they tell you the ship's going down. You're like, screw it, give me $1,000 bets, because it's not your money, and you're going to die anyway, right? They're going to be pulled out of office, so what do they care? Might as well be known for the guy who played it big to the last day. That's their plan. That's their plan. They have, again, no care about the citizenry whatsoever. Oh, they're going to make this mandate or whatever for these transgender. By the way, Craig, shouldn't that be trans date instead of a mandate?
A trans date? No, I'm not. We're not doing any trans dates here.
You can't call it a mandate anymore. That's way too. That's way too specific. So it's either got to be a trans date or you can't have it at all.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, on that note, we're gonna move along. Oregon voters just recently passed a sweeping new anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment piece of dribble, and the funny part about this is that it is already on its way to being sued. There's actually a sheriff there in the state of Oregon who is actually going to be suing. You have the Oregon Firearms Federation and Sherman County Sheriff Brad, is it Lowry?
Sounds good.
Yeah, Lowry. Sounds good to me. They actually filed suit. Now, this is a bill that, number one, it does a few different things. One, it creates It bans magazines greater than capacities greater than 10 rounds. It creates a firearm registry there in the state, which we all know has already been ruled unconstitutional. It requires you to get a permit in order to be able to own or possess a firearm. I believe, I'm trying to think, what are some of the other stuff that it does, Mike?
You get your universal background checks. You've
Yeah.
got, I believe they're going to do the fire. Excuse me, the ammunition. You have to advise when you buy an ammunition as well. They basically took the best of the worst of the gun laws, you know, that you see in many other states, and they put them in there.
Well, and they did that in California, and that law is being challenged. It's just, folks, clearly the people who decided to put this on the ballot are completely and utterly ignoring what the Supreme Court has already said, and these are going to wind up getting shut down. One after another, they're going to wind up getting shut down. The problem is that it's going to take organizations. It's going to take our money, us putting up the money in order to file these lawsuits, for these lawsuits to and working its way through the court. This is in Oregon, so it's part of the Ninth Circus Court of Schlemiels.
That's it.
It's going to take a while for it to get through, but eventually these laws, I do believe, will wind up under the new standard getting shut down.
Agreed. And now we've seen, like I said, the suits come forward. The sheriff, one of the signing members there, and it's not going to take long. Like you said, the only thing that's going to take long is the Ninth Circuit Court's going to stick their thumb right up there and just wait a very long time to answer it. We're seeing East Coast and Northeast, even the Midwest. We're seeing all of these cases that come forward being taken care of in days now, because federal judges now have the authority behind them to go, hey, look, it's in Bruin. I don't have to make anything up. I don't have to be controversial. All I have to do is read what they told me to do. But the Ninth Circuit is doing the whole, oh, well, we'll get around to it. We'll wait a year and a half. And all that does, Craig, just like the last story, cost the taxpayer money.
Right. Well, what I'm wondering, and I'm hoping that Clarence Thomas has a food taster and has protection, because I have a feeling they're waiting for Clarence Thomas to pass away or pass along, to go into the by and by, or to retire. I don't see Clarence Thomas retiring until there is a Republican back in the White House. Having said that, he is definitely. They are definitely going to be targeting him. They're hoping that they can get back to the 5-4, because I think they believe once they get back to the 5-4 that they can then go and get Roberts to not support hearing any Second Amendment cases again.
Yeah, remember, Roberts wants to be in the majority. That's his big thing. He wants to be in the majority. But listen, if anything happens to one of the Republican jurists up there, well, we're going to weekend at Bernie's their butt for the next 2 years.
Yeah. Would not surprise. Well, shoot, they're already doing it in the White House, so.
Well, look, they did it with Darth Vader Ginsburg there, right? She was.
Yes, that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did.
Yep.
All right, this next story to me is beyond outrageous. There have been a total of like 700, almost 800 people who have been on trial or are still awaiting trial. And those who have actually been convicted of crimes of stuff for January 6th have gotten some pretty stiff penalties. But there's one lawyer who, during the 2020 riots, the George Floyd riots that were mostly peaceful, there was a lawyer who actually firebombed or threw Molotov cocktails at police cars. Right now, someone was not in the police car at the time when she threw the Molotov cocktail at it. But nonetheless, we don't know if she knew that or not, but she basically threw a Molotov cocktail at police cars, at police, and she was convicted and has now been sentenced. Mike, she got sentenced to 18 months. 18 months. Now, there's no way you can tell me this is not violent. It was a Molotov cocktail. There's no way you could tell me that she was not challenging the governmental authority, aka an insurrection, because she threw it at a police car, at police. And by the way, This was just the time she got caught. 18 months?
Oh yeah,
Really?
listen, you can see how this goes too, right? Listen, it's gonna, even if she throws it in an occupied police vehicle, right? Because then it's attempted murder if you stretch it that far, which it can be. You know, you're lighting a vehicle on fire with people in it. So then they drop it down, right? They're gonna immediately drop it down to an unoccupied vehicle. Well, now it's just damage to the vehicle, so now it's just criminal mischief. So it's probably maybe a felony, if not, a big old misdemeanor there. But it's New York, right? So first off, I'm surprised they prosecuted it at all, right? And she's she gets to go away, and oh, I'm sorry. Then they're probably going to just make it sentence suspended and make it probation. I guarantee you, she's not going to do. She can do a week in lockup. That's it. And
Well,
she's going to be.
what's interesting is that the Biden administration actually chimed in and asked them for leniency. Now, she was convicted of conspiracy as well as possessing a destructive device, right?
Yeah.
And literally, she was facing 5 to 10 years in prison. And once again, the Biden administration asked that she be shown leniency, and I was actually wrong. She actually only got 15 months. She didn't even get 18 months. She didn't even get a year and a half. She got 15 months. And it says, well, because she's a public interest lawyer, right? She's a public interest lawyer. So and this was during, the time of racial unrest. So yeah, her violent acts should be, it should be, we should take it easy on her.
I would like to say that though, they charged her with destructive device. There's different levels of destructive devices, right? I mean, I look behind me, Craig. Look, here's my jacket. There's a cigar lighter over there, and I've got all these potential destructive devices here, right there. So it's constructive possession of a destructive device, I guess. But yeah, it's not like she went in there with a pipe bomb. It's still a deadly weapon. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I think it shows the level of premeditation as well, too. She didn't spend 3 months building a pipe bomb. She just went down to the corner market and got a bottle of Everclear and a lighter, and tried to take care of the problem. Good, she's going away. Glad to see it happen. Although, you know what? You got the title then? You get the title page there? Title page struck me as I thought this was a home improvement story when you brought it up. Lefty lawyer. All my brain's doing the whole time you're talking about it is going, oh, it's lefty lawyer, righty tighty, right? Righty tighty.
Lefty lawyer, righty tighty.
Yeah, righty tighty, lefty lawyer. Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is from townhall.com. So they're going to, it's going to have a bit of a right tint to it.
Yes. Yeah. So let's see. Again, this is one of those things. Let's put on the tracker. Let's check back on this story in a month and see if she's even gone to the lockup, or if she's home already with the ankle bracelet.
Well, the other thing is let's look back. As the January 6th hearings, I think now they're getting to some of the more serious charges. Let's take a look back and let's find out, when people are convicted, what sort of sentences are they getting? Because I do believe that there are some people who are getting stiffer sentences for, taking a tour of the Capitol, as you like to say.
That's it. Tourism is not a crime.
Except in the Biden administration.
Well, who'd want to go visit him anyway? So,
right. Okay. Moving along to our parting shots. This first one is it's kind of funny because it brings together both the recent election and crime. Now, Mike, I want you to tell me, is this a crime map or is this an election map?
That is both, Craig. Right, folks. It's a county by county map here of the state of Ohio. The red counties are the conservative counties. The blue counties are the Democrat counties. And it says, "I've never been to Ohio. Where are the high crime and rundown areas that I should avoid?" And all you have to do is look at the political map. The blue ones are the major cities, and that's where your crime is.
Folks, with only a few exceptions, this is most states. You do have some areas where there are well-to-do left-wing liberals that might not be run down and might not have high crime. But other than that, for the most part, that is pretty much That's pretty much accurate for most states.
Well, you're right, Craig, and I've actually talked about this before. When you look at those maps and you see the blue, you see the blue around the city, right? And that's the that's where the poors live, according to the polls. That's where the people that are the poverty, the downtrodden, they all live around the major cities because that's where the welfare checks are. That's where that's the government handouts are. And then if you see a blue county right next to it, Craig, that's the affluent that moved out and now basically bought their own county and ran everybody else out of it.
Well, exactly. Till they run that down.
Yes.
Eventually, they will run down that county and then move on.
And then they'll move. And eventually, you get to the point where you originally started, like a Detroit, is half abandoned, and they're growing corn downtown.
Well, you have that in California. You have right outside of Los Angeles County. They are now working on taking over Orange County, which used to be the Republican stronghold in California. In the Bay Area, you have on one end of the Golden Gate Bridge, you have the Poop Hole, which is the city of San Francisco. And on the other end of the Golden Gate Bridge, you have Marin County, once again, which is very high income, hoity-toity, left-wing liberal bastion. And then you have just south of that, you have Silicon Valley. So the South Bay. So yeah, it happens all over the place. And speaking of San Francisco, and their guaranteed income program, Mike.
Yes.
This is a good one. Yeah. San Francisco launches guaranteed income program for transgendered people. Then it says everyone in San Francisco, and this has got William Dafoe. I believe. What movie is that from? Is that from
Spider-Man?
Boondock Saints? That's from Spider-Man. Okay. But the line he has in here, it says, "Well, it's him with what appears to be long pink hair." And it says, I'm something of a transgender myself.
Here you go.
Now, that's actually a line from Boondock Saints, isn't it?
Is it Boondock Saints? Okay, gotcha.
I don't know, but I think this is from Spider-Man, but I think the line is from Boondock Saints.
Okay.
Not the specific line, but...
Gotcha.
Anyway. And then the last thing, speaking to San Francisco, this having to do with income, or at least minimum wage. There's a big push to increase minimum wage to $15. A lot of places now are paying $20. But, getting paid $15 to $20 is the new $7.50 to $9.25. Yeah. Thank you, Biden administration, for the inflation.
Yep. You know what that one reminds me of, Craig, is when people say, people that get older, right? And they go, 50 is the new 40 and all that stuff. Yeah, I like the one, 9 p.m. is the new midnight. Yeah.
9 p.m. is the new midnight. Yeah, as we get older, it really is, isn't it?
Yeah. I remember, Craig, getting the phone calls or a text or whatever saying, or not a text, a page, right? Saying, hey, man, we're thinking about going out. You want to go out? And it'd be like midnight. And before we even thought about if we were going out tonight. Yeah. And now at 9 o'clock, you're falling asleep in front of the TV. You're like, oh.
Not that we never, if we're out past midnight, it was planned. And
yeah,
you had to prep.
Oh yeah, listen, I'm not saying we don't stay out past midnight. I'm just saying, at that point, you've been committed to it for a week. You know what was going on.
You knew what was going on. It was all
hydrating, doing everything you need to do.
Yeah. Like prepping for shot.
Exactly right.
Exactly. All right. Well, the 400th episode's about to come to a close. But before we go, we need a bit of a call out once again to our wonderful sponsors who have helped make this joyous ride happen.
That's it. Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net, hitmanindustries.net. They've got rifle and pistol caliber barrels, both carbine length, rifle length, and, you get your rifle or pistol caliber, right? Hitmanindustries.net, hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly. Please go there. They did a great job. Now they're going to need to refocus the coffers, raise them up a little bit so they can be ready for 2 years from now. So make sure that happens. And all the other, the municipal elections in between. The California Republican Assembly. Make sure you look them up. Hog Holsters, HAWGholsters.com, HAWGholsters.com, hogholsters.com. Use the code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces, and get yourself a discount. Go get your holsters now. Don't wait till the holidays. Don't make John crazy. Go there and just buy them at a regular pace. All right. And then, of course, if you want some awesome tactical gear, some good web gear, go to uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. These are the folks who bring us to you. Do us a favor, go to them, check them out, and spend some money with them and tell them that the guys over at The Rundown sent you. With that, we're going to call it a day. We're going to call it episode 400. We're going to have a good time for the next 100 episodes until we come back for episode 500.
Oh, we got plans for that one. Big plans. Big plans.
Big plans. Big plans. Big plans. I hope you are a part of it. Yeah. Folks, take care. We will see you tomorrow on Taco Tuesday.